Hello, Patty from Vermont here, now in South Carolina. I'm hoping you're all having a wonderful week. I hope you did have a good week and accomplished a lot of things so that you're feeling happy today. I'm feeling happy today, very productive this week, and my body is telling me it was a good week. On the health front, my blood sugars have been wonderful for me. Makes me very happy. I've been careful with the eating. I still haven't gotten a lot of extra walking in, but that is going to happen. As far as organization, oh my goodness, did I get a lot done this week. And in a few more weeks, maybe I'll take you on a tour of a better organized house. But all the things from the closet in the workroom that I had put on the guest bed and on the floor in the guest bed have now all been put in clear plastic tubs and are happy in the closet again. It looks beautiful, in my opinion. Unfortunately, there was quite a bit of stuff left over, so I'm beginning to look at things in a different way. Our son did come to visit, and he's still here, in fact, for another, until tomorrow. But he said, if you haven't used something in 6 months or a year or something, you should think about whether or not need to get rid of it. And he said they're even in their house, they're getting rid of books, which that's a hard thing to get rid of. But we'll see. I had put a timer on a hose for our blueberry plants, and I'd had to get a connector to connect the timer to the house faucet because of the way it was. And somehow he figured out a way to do it. He got rid of those connectors, and he says, throw these away because you're not going to need them again. And if you do, they're cost you what, $3? I said, about that. He said, yeah, well, throw them away. You don't need them. So I actually did. So I'm reevaluating the stuff that we have in the house. Okay, as far as handwork this week, it was a productive week that way too. I have one thing that I've done and I finished. I made I plan to weave a bath mat, and I meant to use some t-shirt loop yarn, and I did it. It's on here it is. It's kind of creepy looking, but my feet are not gonna slip. I did about a 1-inch header, you might call it a header, and I learned how to do a Damascus edging. So a Damascus edging is basically you take, because this is very fine yarn, it is Maurice Brassard cotton 8/4 rug warp is what the yellow is, and I used it on a 10 dent reed or heddle, so it's a very fine yarn. And for the edging, I took the first 2 strands of yarn at the end and did a half hitch with the next 2, and then I took the leftover 2, the ones that had been the standard yarn, that became the moving yarn, and I did a half hitch. So you do a half hitch all the way across on the right side, then you flip it and you go back and do a half hitch again, so you've got a full hitch, and it makes a very good firm hem. And then I cut it off with a little bit of a fringe. I might cut off more of the fringe, but anyway, I am happy, and I'm planning to dye this with Rit dye to give it some more color, or at least I got some RIT dye. I haven't done it. So that is one thing that was done this week. And another thing that I completed this week was I made this bottle of lichen. It's lichen that a friend gave me some blowdown sticks and twigs from her house, and I pulled the lichen off and filled the jar with lichen, then half full of water and the rest of the way with ammonia. And now every day I need to go out and shake it a little bit, and every week I need to take the cover off so that it can get some air, and then close it up. And then in about 3 months or so, 3 or 4 months, or even 6 months, it should give me a beautiful purple dye. And I really want some purple dye. So I'm very thrilled about that. That's something that was done. Another thing that was making progress, I talked to you about the 15s, and this sweater that I'm making for my husband is called The Finest Kind. It's a very nice, Alicia Plummer is the designer of it. And it is using some yarn from, Harrisville Designs. I can't remember exactly what I don't think I have I don't have the kind. Anyway, it's maybe Wellscroft Dorset yarn, New Hampshire yarn anyway. And you can see that by doing the 15 minutes, so this is, many of these rounds were done. It takes me a little less than 15 minutes to do one round. So I've been working on it every morning, and we're making progress. I'm thrilled that it's going as well as it has. That's about 8 or 9 inches. And I think that it's got to be 15 inches before we divide it for the armholes and the top. And I found this bag. This is one of those things when I was doing the organization, I found this felted bag that I did years ago. This is a very cool bag. I have to say, I want to, probably going to make another one of them. You start out by making a square with garter stitch. I think I discovered that there are like 22 garter ridges on the bottom, and I don't know how long they were, because when you felt, this is 100% wool, it shrinks up. But anyway, you did the square, and then you picked up stitches around all 4 sides, and then you just knit up in stocking stitch. So it goes up, up, up until you get to a certain point, and then you do 2 more or 3 more garter ridges. Then you cast off a certain amount of spaces, and then you go back and you cast right back on and continue in the garter stitch. It's not as much fun doing garter stitch in the round, because you have to, every other round is a purl round. So if you don't like purl stitches, you might not like it. But then you throw it in the washing machine with some blue jeans or towels or something, and you put it in with hot water. The thing about it is, because I did it in the washing machine, I couldn't tell, I wouldn't know how much it was going to felt. So sometimes you could get a very tiny bag, but this one was a big bag, and I'm thrilled with it. So that's another good project. And one project that I started for this week was I joined the Woolly Thistle in West Lebanon, New Hampshire, is having a vest knit along, and it goes until maybe the middle of July. And I have wanted to make a vest to wear over one of my dresses. I have a green corduroy dress, kind of a high-waisted thing, and I just love the look of vests over those. So I got some green yarn. This is probably the seventh ball of yarn that I got to see if I could match the color, and because I wanted this to be the same color as the dress, and it is. And I have one of my knitting heroes is a woman named Cheryl Brunette. She has a podcast on YouTube called This Knitting Life, I think. But anyway, Cheryl Brunette is her name, Brunettee. And she has a book called Sweater 101, and she teaches you how to make your own sweater. You make a swatch with it. You get the yarn you want to use and the needles you think you want to use, and you make a very big swatch and see if that fabric is what you like. And then she teaches you how to plan a sweater. She's got schematics for all kinds of sweaters, and you can figure out what you need to do to make your own sweater. So this is going to be my first experience doing a vest or a sweater that I've designed myself following her rules. We'll see how it goes. Now, let me think. So I am wondering, so last week, if you watched that video all the way through, you will have noticed that at one point the video started being bottom side up. And I asked how to make that right. And I haven't heard anything, or at least I haven't seen any responses on it, but I think I figured it out. So we're gonna try that one more time and see if we can, see if I can figure out how, oh. Well, here we go. I botched it. Okay. Then here's our picture in our living room. These are a friend gave me that little guy, and Bob gave me that beautiful couple thing, and here's our children. These salt and pepper shakers from my mother's set, and then the Stratford Milk Company. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go back and see if this is gonna work. And I'll put this back up. All right. Up, bottom side up. All right, there we go. Here we are, back here. And I'm gonna call that pretty much good for the day, but I'm gonna ask, how have you been doing? Have you made progress this week? Do you feel happy with what you've gotten accomplished? I hope so. I hope you're well and happy, and that all is moving forward in your lives. I want to thank all those people who are watching, who have watched. It makes me happy to see that people are watching. And I love it if you subscribe. This is not a money-making thing, but it just makes me happy to see that people are interested enough and would subscribe. In all honesty, this is a video journal for me that I hope my family and friends will enjoy. And I'm going to try to do more sharing of specific things, like telling you, for example, this was on a 16-inch rigid heddle loom, and I did it the full width. So that means it's 160 ends. And 7.5 ends per inch. So I have plans to do another one of these bath mats, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently, and I'll tell you about it when that happens. But anyway, so that's it for today. So I want to say, do good, be good. Let's do it now together. Bye now.